Let's look at the supply and demand visible range indicator by LuxAlgo. It's actually a supply and demand indicator. But basically, as you know, all you really need to understand is the usage of this indicator, or rather to understand what makes it actually show as the supply and demand zone. So in this video, we're just going to understand more about the indicator, because when we understand more about the indicator, it will be easier for us also to really create our own trading strategy using this indicator. Okay, so guys, welcome to Money Close FX Education YouTube channel. Maybe it's the first time you're hearing my voice. I really welcome you. Kindly join us by subscribing to this channel, clicking on that red button, rate and subscribe, and definitely you'll be part of this amazing family, because I believe and honestly I know this is where you belong. If you're already part of this family, I really salute you. So guys, I know most of you are wondering how to add the indicator on the charts. You're just going to click on indicator star. Once you click on indicator star, you're just going to type supply and demand visible range LuxAlgo. You click on it. Once you click on it, this is how it's actually going to appear right on your chart. So this is the indicator you're basically going to talk about in this video. And as you can see right on my chart over here, we have the supply and demand zone. The supply zone being in orange color and demand zone being on blue color. So it's so easy for us to really understand. But to really know how to use the indicator, basically we have to understand it more in depth. Okay, so guys, what does this indicator pay attention to so that it can draw all the supply and demand zone? So this indicator displays areas and levels on the user's chart for the visible range using a novel volume-based method. The script also makes use of intra-bar data to create a precise and demand zone. And as you can see, for sure, it uses the intra-bar data so that it can create the supply and demand zone we can really see on our charts. Okay, so what is the usage of this indicator? Remember, I've told you this is our supply zone and this is our demand zone over here. So usage number one, the supply and demand areas or levels displayed by the script are aimed at providing potential support and resistance for users. The script behavior makes it recalculate each time the visible chart interval or range changes. So basically, when you see supply and demand zone, this indicator helps you know that it's aiming to providing us with support and resistance, meaning these are zones that you're supposed to pay attention to. It can work as our point of interest. And remember, we can use support and resistance zones as our target points. What do I really mean by this? So let's say you executed your sell order at this given point, you can actually exit when you see a demand zone over here. And as well, let's say you executed your buy order at this given point over here, you can actually exit trades when you see a supply zone. So it helps us really know the supply and demand zone, and you basically have an idea how you can actually use supply and demand zone. The usage of indicator number two, you're supposed to know when price reaches a supply zone, which is an upper area at this given point that has been tested several times, might be an indicative of a potential reversal down, while a price reaching a demand zone, which is our lower area that might have been tested a few times, could be indicative of potential reversal up. So this is actually giving us a look and how we look support and resistance levels, because we're being told when you see price reaching the supply zone, which has been tested several times, you don't need explanation, because you really need to see it has been tested, like here, the first time, the second time, and the third time at this given point. So this actually shows you that the market has a potential reversal to the downside. And as well, when it comes to our demand zone and you see price being rejected several times, this tells you that the market has a probability of actually reversing and starting buying. So that the usage number two. Usage number three, we're being told the width of each area can also indicate which areas are more liquid, with thinner areas indicating more significant liquidity. So you're supposed to understand about the width of these areas over here. The width over here really show us liquidity that is present in the market. So the thinner width really show us that there is liquidity in the zone, and you're supposed to really know when there is liquidity, the market has a probability of actually trapping your stop losses that you've placed actually above and proceed to the downside. So these zones are very, very crucial as far as this indicator is really concerned. Remember, liquidity is actually the fuel the market needs so that it can really move. So what you're supposed to really know when you are on these zones over here, you're supposed to really pay attention and see the game that are actually played at the level. This candlestick pattern over here will push up to this level, trapping your stop losses, gaining the enough liquidity it needs so that it can really push the market to the downside. So kindly pay attention on those wins. So let's go to function number 4, you're supposed to understand that the supply and demand zone indicator returns various levels, and the solid colored levels displays the average of each area, while the dashed colored lines display the weighted average of each area. These weighted averages can highlight more liquid price levels within the supply and demand areas. So guys, you can see probably in our chart we have a dashed line, and I hope it's actually visible. So this is the dashed line over here, and the dashed line also at this level over here. So just to make you understand, depending on what you can really see on charts, we have the dashed line and we have the solid areas, and the supply and demand zone indicator returns various levels. The solid colored levels displays the average of each area, while the dashed line, what you can probably see over here, display the weight averages of each area. These weight averages can highlight more liquid price levels within the supply and demand zones. Okay, I hope now you have idea, like understanding all the features with this indicator, the dashed line, the supply and demand zone, and actually the solid levels, and you have really understood about it. Okay, also the central solid and dashed line display the average between the areas averages and the weight averages. Okay, so guys, that's what you're really supposed to understand about this supply and demand indicator, and when you understand about its usage, it can be simply easier for you to really execute trades. And basically when you can look at this level over here, it becomes very much respected, because you can see honestly when price get to the level, it's actually proceeding to the upside. And what you're basically supposed to understand also, there is a probability that price can actually break above your supply zone, and there is a probability that price can actually break below your demand zone. Okay, we're just going to cover more about this indicator in my later videos, but all I really wanted you to understand is the functions of this indicator. Understanding the functions, trust me, you're just going to really understand it correctly. So I have other pending videos actually talking more about this indicator so that we can really use it to execute trades. And you can see honestly for sure the market is actually respecting the supply and demand zone on the level, so it can be easier for you to really execute trades using this indicator. We're just going to cover a strategy we can really use using this supply and demand zone indicator by LuxAlgo. Okay, so guys, let me hope you've learned something from this video. I wish you nothing but the best. Continue working here, because I know one day your hard work will pay you. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Don't forget to like this video as well. Turn on your notification bell, because I'm dropping more videos regarding this indicator. So guys, bye bye, see you in my next video.